The button that used to say
still says offline.
The button that used to say start streaming now says stop streaming.
Hey,
live.
There we are. We're live.
There we are. 9 seconds ago.
Okay.
I put, there's the faction creation worksheet. I put some stuff in there. And then in the player character share folder, it's probably a bad place with it, but I made a file called Gods and Things.
Nice.
That has gods and things in it.
Somebody want to
so that's where I put on
share with me through some means a link to this shared Google Docs folder?
Sorry, Dave. Tell me again which account you put it under.
Which account?
Did you share it with? Did you make it on your account and then just share it with everybody?
Yeah, it should be in. Well, the one. Matt, I think, sent us the shared document faction creation worksheet.
Yep.
Josh, and you just added it to that. You put it right on that.
Yeah, I added some stuff there.
Cool.
And then I also made a new file and dropped it in the player character notes folder, which is shared with
Nice. Okay. I see right here the Wardens of the Titan Passes, the Lizard Folk Rangers. Love it.
And then there's the Gods and Things file. I was imagining the
the stream is frozen, if that means anything.
What do you call them?
I was wondering that.
It
does look frozen.
Okay. Let's see
yep. Looks totally frozen.
I think it'll be unfrozen in just a second.
Or 9.
Well, sure. Not a second is how I say 9 seconds. It's a colloquialism.
Hey, yeah, oh, 1. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Yep, we're back up. We're making bacon, baby.
Cool. All right, I believe I am ready, quote unquote.
Let's get this ship a rolling.
So, Dave, do you want to tell us about the Lizard Folk Rangers and the Wardens of the Titan Passes? This is St. John's all over again, and he's the only one who did homework.
Whoops.
Go up to the board, Dave. Use the chalk.
Do us a proof!
Well, the Rangers are, I mostly just wrote out all the stuff that we've already.
Do you want to just read it out loud, or do you want to read it out loud?
You mean just read what I wrote?
Yeah,
I can read what I wrote. Sure, I'll read what I wrote. Okay, the Lizard Folk Rangers. Yeah. So Matt, in the file, Matt had 6 points. Goals, beliefs, motto, history, type of person who joins, and example quests. So the lizards, the gold, protect the borders of lizard folk territory, gather information about the Starfalls that will assist in the preservation and survival of the lizard folk. Beliefs, the Starfalls are dangerous and should always be considered as a possible threat, even when they drop/create useful things. Other races are useful and are not necessarily threats to lizard folk, though they should be approached cautiously. Motto, protect, survive. History, the Rangers grew out of the lizard folk migration. At that time, lizard folk shamans decided that they needed to know more about the Starfalls, and they would have to send out some of their own from the world, some of their own into the world to gather this information. They can no longer remain isolated. Also, upon resettling in the South, they grew increasingly concerned with territorial security. Type of person who joins the Lizard Folk Rangers are lizard folk. Examples of quest: investigating starfalls, patrolling lizardfolk borders, serving as guides, trackers, guards, escorts for pay and information, mercenary work that doesn't conflict with lizard interests. So that's the lizardfolk rangers, the wardens of the Titan passes. So I think I was kind of, as like background to this, I was kind of envisioning that mountain range in the middle of the map.
Ooh, can we see the map?
I don't know. I don't have the map.
That's a thing I plan to do. Hopefully next week, maybe the next week after that, to allow us to put relevant things on the screen as we do it.
Sweet.
So I was imagining having like a few starfalls in there of like elder titans or something like that. And so there's like giants in there, smaller giants, but there's like a few really old, really big titans in there. And so anyway, the wardens of the Titan passes, their goals are to secure the trade routes and mountain passes of that central mountain range. So make sure that the travel is possible, but across that range, because it kind of connects the western part of the world with the eastern regions. Their beliefs are that safety can be secured. It's not cheap, but it's worth it. Profit is important, but not important at all costs. The wardens keep a long-term outlook, and they believe that keeping these trade routes open is important to the preservation and advancement of civilization. I didn't come up with a motto for them. History, they probably started as a result of starfalls cutting off or disrupting important trade routes across the mountains, and increasing concern from the presence of titans and other powerful creatures, races, factions in that area that could potentially cut off transit across those areas. Type of person who joins: merchants, mercenaries, rangers, soldiers, caravaneers, adventurers, explorers, and giants. They might, recruit some of the local giants to help with what they're doing. Ones that are more friendly. Example quests: guarding caravans, exploring new routes across the mountains, meeting with a native tribe / creature of the mountains to negotiate safe passage, diplomatic negotiations between different cities, races, etc. So those are those factions. And then I had in the player characters. And then I had my the sort of deities, semi-deities. I don't know if these are exactly deities, but so I was thinking there would be a ancient frost titan that kind of that lives in the mountains around the grid 10-9. It's just sort of northeast, in the mountain spur to the northeast of the swamp where the lizards currently live. And the lizards discovered this guy. They know very little about him, but they noticed him, he was spotted in the peaks surrounding their new swamp home after the migration. And so they ended up, every year they send a gift of treasure and food to him, and they leave it at a predetermined place. And every year he takes their offering, and the lizards don't enter his territory, and he generally leaves them alone as well. So
Nice.
They're sort of they haven't really talked to him, but this arrangement seems to be working, so they're happy to keep doing it. And then the other creature was Atherilim, who the lizards call the Whelming Wave. They probably look at him as something of a god, although it's hard to know exactly what he is. They don't know exactly what he is. The lizards, when they originally land, after their original Starfall, they were a bit more expansive, and they also kind of traveled the seas along the northern coast. They settled a pair of largish islands that were along the coast, which I'm thinking were probably around the map grid point 9.5. And about 30 years before the Great Migration, a starfall struck one of those islands directly, and it sank, and it sent a wave. It created a giant, tsunami, which swamped the second island and destroyed a lot of the mainland coast. This star was some sort of huge sea monster, demigod, whatever. It's very powerful. They don't really know what it looks like, but it's big. It has a large mouth, lots of teeth, and it eats ships and other things. And it basically drove the lizards out of the sea. After a few years, it disappeared. And then the lizards, this kind of triggered the lizards to start studying the stars, because they were, because it just wrecked their major colonies. And this got them really, really concerned about the starfalls. At one point, I thought maybe they even tried to infiltrate an elven monastery looking for information on starfalls, that they got so wound up. But after about 15 years, after its disappearance, the monster returned and terrorized the coast again for several years. And this was a major factor in the lizard migration. And I'm thinking he probably disappeared again. But at that point, the damage was done, and other factors led the lizards to just abandon that area. And so, but anyway, he's disappeared again, but he's still out there somewhere, maybe sleeping at the bottom of the sea. Who knows? But anyway, so those were those were the things I came up with. I think that's
nice.
It.
Great.
Very cool. I like it a lot.
Can I tell you about... I don't have a great name for this god, but I know all about it. So maybe you guys can come up with a name. Are you ready?
Maybe it's the nameless god.
I'm ready.
No. It's often called the Swollen One.
The swollen one?
Yes. Yeah, the Swollen One. When you see a butterfly that has fox's eyes on its wings, it is because of the influence of the Swollen One. When you see a flower that is in the shape of some kind of insect, in order to attract other of that insect to it, that's the influence of the Swollen One being felt. When a sculptor copies in stone something that happens in flesh, like a human being, that's the influence of the Swollen One. The Swollen One is particularly fond of chameleons, and peacocks, those insects that look just like leaves, right? They are much beloved of the Swollen One. They are an insect that has been swollen with leafness. Leafness has been just pumped into it, even against its nature. It's a compound of two natures, or there's one nature that's just flowing through and into another nature, and that's the work of the Swollen One. And the Swollen One combines and compounds all natures, and will eventually, those who follow the Swollen One believe in an end of the world where the Swollen One has combined all natures into one, and all things are one, and this is the great cosmic oneness to which all are. It's just ultimate blessing or ultimate curse, depending on your perspective. But things
does your
that
character hold to this?
What?
Does your character hold to this?
No. No, this is. But all the animals that disguise themselves as other animals, they didn't exist. And then this god landed at some point, and all those animals started to crop up. The chameleons and the butterflies, the different colors on the butterflies' wings that look like other things, and the leaf insects and all that stuff.
So how come your guitar turns into a peacock?
It doesn't.
Oh.
Not anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That was going to be the thing, but Josh put some other consequences on my guitar instead.
Oh.
What I was thinking, like mutatis, that which mutates.
So you've got a peacock that is with you, however. It's not your pet. It's just, it seems to be imprinted on you somehow. It's not, it never gets in the way. But
peacocks are really noisy.
This is not
a full on peacock. You're not responsible for it. You're not responsible for it, and it doesn't seem to be easily killed. So you can just ignore it.
I don't want it. But
it's okay, you don't have to want it.
Thack
I'm a peacock.
Thack does have a certain fondness for noisy things. But not if they're taking up the spotlight.
They're not taking up the spotlight.
They're not peacocking, as it were?
If it spreads those feathers, it's getting a kick from my leather boots. Here's a faction that I made up. Do you want to hear about it?
Yeah.
Or do you have names for this god?
What's the disposition of the god?
The god's disposition is we would call it chaotic. This is very much a chaos god. This is a god that picks one random animal and combines it with another random animal and is just delighted by the results.
Whimsical, capricious.
A whimsical and capricious god, yes.
Neutral chaotic?
Yeah, but I mean, werewolves, which are definitely a creation of this god, are maybe a manifestation of their evil side.
Werewolves are people too.
Yeah.
So what other things has this being created? Are we saying that the subtype shapeshifter?
Maybe not all of them. If there's some shapeshifter that's like this other, there can be other reasons why something shapeshifts, but they're probably posing off of a legend that they heard about this god. They're probably copying what this god started.
Sure.
Maybe other gods can transform and can have powers, but in Starfall, things were relatively straightforward and they generally presented as themselves. And then this entity showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's not so simple anymore.
Right.
Here's a name. Ericius. Ericius.
Do you have it written down anywhere? Do you want me to take notes on the doc while you talk?
I'm just suggesting it, see if Matt likes it. I can type it in the thing.
That's for the swollen one.
What's the spelling again? Erikius?
Oh, gotcha.
With a Z.
IRIQUS. IUS?
It's in the chat of the the Jitsi.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice.
It does kind of look like dog Latin for the name Eric.
Okay. It is a Latin word. I'm happy to... just a suggestion.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Maybe the swollen god's name is Eric.
No. This is not that kind of fantasy. I mean, I guess if you really want it to be that kind of fantasy.
What about Karen?
I had thought of that one before.
Karen?
Edilin?
I would say something like Edelin.
Edilin?
Just some names.
How about Vela?
Hey, just so you know, the people who are watching the stream like Karen.
All hail the almighty Karen! The swollen Karen! I want to eat your manager!
Okay, does anybody know a real life
like that?
Karen who might think that this is her?
No.
No, just spell it this way.
There you go, with a Q.
And you can even make it Karen.
Karen.
Okay, fine.
Karen who
K-R-I-N.
combine all things in her belly.
Fine. Karen, the swollen one, which gives birth to nothingness and everything compounded together, and in which we are all admixed with one another disgustingly and beautifully.
And really, whatever topic is at hand, she's filling, I guess it's a she now, is filling with other things, swelling them up with things that are not related at all. It works.
Mothering monsters.
It's funny because
The Karen is strong with me.
Okay, who's next? Oh, do you want me to tell you about my faction?
Yeah.
Karen hungers for your faction.
Someone's knocking.
Nope, I'm beating my dog.
What?
Eating your dog?
I'm playing the bass drum. Everybody. Good boy.
Oh, hi, doggy.
What's your faction?
Okay, so I've got an idea for a faction called the Bakers.
Okay.
And
Patty
the
Cake Baker's Man.
Something like that. So the history of the Bakers is that they were originally a guild of millers, which millers have guilds, I think, and they started to vertically integrate. So they started to let bakers join, and then they started to get farmers to join until they were in charge of general food production for large areas. They tend to be seen as like a sort of proto-communist force because they want everybody to pay them tribute. They want everybody to buy food from them, but they also want everybody to be able to be fed. Like their one thing is everybody should be able to eat. And their other thing is everybody should be able to eat because they're buying food from us. And if you get in our way and you don't want to join, we might break your knees. So they have these sort of two faces, and the one face is like, join the feast, free food for everyone. Like this is, you can get recruited very easily. Like, yeah, join the bakers at 3 square meals a day, and we'll definitely find a good job for you, and you'll be a productive member of society. and then like the other side of the coin is join the bakers, and maybe there's this government next door that has some peasants that we think aren't getting fed enough, and we need you to go and assassinate their duke.
It's an old school racket.
Yeah, it's very much an old school like political machine.
It's more Teamsters than the Communist Party.
Yeah, very very sort of Teamsters, very like
kind of sounds like Venezuela though.
Sort of proto-communist, but very very like food centered. So that's their thing. I think the motto on the third try I came up with, by our hands they all are fed.
Nice. That's really good.
So one note about that, about them, I guess, is they surely cannot be Epicureans then. That they have to be an enemy of the Epicureans, or vice versa.
Yeah,
like,
well, I think
why would I eat that swill?
There's sort of a right. I think that's a good idea. I'll change that if I put it down, because I think you're right, like there might be like a splinter group of Epicureans who like feel differently about food and what food is for.
I just mean foodies in general, whether or not they're of the guild, are not going to be like, oh man, I definitely want to go down to the 14 potato carts for my lunch today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I would imagine that in some areas the food is not as good as others, and those who have more power in the organization divert resources, right?
It's a lot of trucking. This is how the Teamster thing ties in.
Yeah.
They hate Epicureans the way that a religious group hates
Epicurean.
No. No, there's a difference. There's a difference between the word for somebody who claims to be your same religion, but has
your what?
A cult member, sort of
claims to be your what?
Somebody who claims to be the same religion, but is actually teaching doctrines that are not right.
Kind of heretical.
Yes.
Apostate.
So the difference between heretics and pagans, whatever, right? So like the dukes and kings and princes and the whole feudal system that people are using are like, they're hated because they're pagans. They're not even claiming to be bakers. Mm-hmm. But these Epicureans who are enjoying food for food's sake, like, they're heretics. They claim to be on our team, but they've distorted our doctrine.
Got it. Yeah, that's great.
I love it.
All right, what next?
It's extremely well thought out. I like that. So I don't have my Starfall Hunters thing. I don't have all my notes typed up, although I can answer all those off the top of my head. But I'm not going to do that. You know who is?
Who?
Dwight. Because that's Dwight's.
What?
The Starfall Hunters. That's yours. And anything that you don't know, you just have to make up.
What?
So the faction, the Starfall Hunters, if you want, I can take point and you can correct me, overwrite me, and fill in blanks. Do you want to do that?
That sounds amazing.
Okay. Goals. What is the organization trying to do? So the Starfall Hunters are a group of kind of first responders, think kind of magic EMTs / SWAT team, or at least they're self-appointed. Nobody else is making them do this. They're a kind of paramilitary, parapolitical group, but they try to be first on site whenever a star falls. One of the things they're trying to do is contain the threat, but they're also trying to catalog it. And so the Starfall Hunters have some of the best event logs and maps of any organization that is not, extremely old and wealthy and powerful.
They probably have outposts in the north where nobody else goes.
They do. Yeah, so Starfall Hunters are a subset of Rangers, or at least, I would say that probably there are more Rangers in the Starfall Hunters ranks than anything else, but not exclusively. So beliefs. So what do they believe about the world? I think they're extremely pragmatic and simple in their worldview. I think they're used to seeing so many crazy things that they don't even really value dogma and abstract.
They don't value dog?
They do. They value dogs tremendously, especially Bash. Anyway, they're kind of we believe with our eyes, not with our heads. They care about what they can see. They're very concrete. Motto. Dwight, do you have an idea for the motto?
Make my funk the P-Funk.
No. Anything but that.
Got to get there first, I guess. Got to get there first for now.
Stars fell on Alabama.
The first star fell on what? We can't do Alabama, but I like that for a motto. The first star fell on...
What is the name of this disc?
Oh, I know. Oh, well, that won't work.
Yeah, that's one thing we need to decide that we have not yet. What is the name of the planet?
The
what
world.
Is the name of the continent that we're on? The world?
The cosmos.
What is the name for whom? In
The
common.
disc.
The land.
You mean in common?
Yeah.
Yeah, in common.
What is the word for the land? The common name, proper name.
I mean, my original idea was that it would be called Starfall because it's where starfalls happen. It's the first thing we know about it is that starfalls happen there. But
wherever the stars fall.
But I'm not married to that idea. I don't even definitely think it's a great idea. It doesn't seem as great. It doesn't seem super great to me right now. So, Robert, I just want you to know that we can see Google in the stream.
It went away
sometimes instead of our faces.
Good to know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to put it in a stable place. Is that good?
Yeah. Nope. It's Google now. 9 seconds ago.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? I take that back. It's not really a Rangers-specific order. I'm going to say that they equally attract all types because...
You're searching for Darmok.
Yeah.
Yeah. At Tanagra, when the stars fell.
At Tanagra?
At Tanagra, when the stars
Tanagra.
When the stars fell.
Tanagra.
I set up a separate Chrome profile now to handle the OBS thing so that I can also use my browser on the other screen.
There we go. We're back to... Oh, man.
It's an allusion to the Star Trek
really
Next
far
Generation.
behind, though, because Matt was still talking when you switched back.
So example quests would involve checking out new Starfalls.
That makes sense. I have one that I can talk about, an association or a, what do you call it?
Faction?
What'd you say?
Faction.
Faction. Yeah. I think it's maybe a little looser than a faction per se. But I'll wait for Matt, I guess. Although he seems to have faded to black and white, so maybe he... I don't know.
He ran away.
Yeah.
Is this a good time to take 5?
Nope.
He's
back in color. That means he's
back.
at the campfire
All right.
again.
Okay.
In color, but not living color. Because he's not there.
You know that expression was originally in living black and white?
Really?
Yeah. Referring to print, I think.
Because the black and white was living.
Just like in real life, as opposed to rumor.
Ah.
So you have an entity, Sir Robert, or a loose faction?
A faction type of thing. that you and I had talked about with halflings.
Oh yeah.
Thought I'd wait for a second.
Is this halfling specific or is this in general?
No, but there are a lot of halflings in it, and it's probably mostly halflings.
Ooh, I like that idea that the guild is mostly halflings. I really like that.
They're not exclusive, but but it attracts people like them. So there you go. I don't have a name for it, and I don't think they have a name for it either. There's not.
So do they say things like the organization, or do they say
no?
The business.
Nothing. It's looser than that. So here's the way it works. It tends to attract halflings, and of halflings, the Lightfoot kind of rogue style, not just rogues, but those sorts of people. And it's a loose network that is tied by basically various sigils, similar to the way hobo marks work, if you're familiar with that.
Yep. And in game, that would be called Thieves' Cant.
Well, it's not Thieves' Cant. It's a set of sigils that have to do with territories, kind of like parishes or something of the guild. What did you say, Matt?
Thieves' Cant is the language in D&D.
Yeah, no, there is Thieves' Cant in this world, but that's not what this is.
It would be another Thieves' Cant, because Thieves' Cant is usually symbols that are scrawled on places and codes that are spoken without other people knowing. It's not actually a language.
Yeah, no, I understand. It's
okay.
I totally get it. It's the very standard kind of movie trope of, saying, "Hey, we're gonna pull a Missouri 2 code," whatever, as for the name of the case. Right, it's Thieves' Cant. But this is just a little bit different. It's more like
hobo hexes.
Similar, yeah. Where the idea is, if they leave a mark on something, it's just a little scratches on something, and it means things like there's people friendly to our cause here, or hey, there's nothing of use here.
There's pies over this away.
That kind of thing, yeah. Jimmy cracked corn, and I don't care. So there's a basic set of those. It's not used for long communication. You can do things like putting a date and something similar to a rough signature that it just looks like a little scratch or something. Okay, so that said, that's kind of the entirety of the organization of it, aside from a very, very inner group that doesn't really do much, that doesn't really talk much or act heavily handed. But the idea is it is a bunch of happy-go-lucky type of people in the world who just don't really get what all this government and regulations. I've got something, you need something, let's make something happen, right? And it's not a big deal. I may not have it, but I know where to get it. But I probably have it, or if I don't, I know where to get it. And we're doing that kind of thing. But they're generally the down and out sorts, so they like to help beggars and stuff. And they tend to see things like, for some reason, that guy over there, they call him a duke or something, but he has a lot of money, so he's probably not going to miss a few things. And so there's a little bit of that flavor in it. But they won't steal from a beggar. They won't mug people. They won't go out of their way to hurt people in general. They would defend themselves, but they prefer not to. They prefer just to get away. But the idea is they're a sort of, and this is me jumping out of the world a little bit now. They're a sort of shadow quasi-government that keeps all the pipes, keeps all the gears running. If you if you know where to find them and where to look. And you could think of them as the Halfling A-team sort of thing. They don't really kill people, but they'll help you make stuff happen. And they're serving their own purposes. Anyway, loose association, you get included. The higher you go up in the sort of rank, although it's very informal, basically that's how many sigils you know. And which ones?
Mm-hmm.
Matt, just to say, you look frozen. Are you frozen? No, you're just very still.
I don't seem to be frozen to myself, but the Twitch stream is showing me as frozen most of the time.
Okay. So anyway, the idea is they are very protective of their sigils. They don't mind like scratching them on something, but you cannot find somebody who will explain what it means. And they are intentionally not etymologically related in any way. They don't, they're just sort of random scratches. But they're also fully peer-to-peer, so you can make up your own sigil and just tell your friend, Carl, about it, and the two of you know that. But if it doesn't spread, it doesn't spread. Anyway, you get the idea. So it's
blockchain.
What's that?
It's blockchain.
If it is, that kind of flavor. Anyway, the most powerful ones in it are the people who know all the sigils, and they have a lot of people telling them what's happening. So really, they're powerful via information.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that information and favors and that kind of thing, they have a whole lot of like, hey, why don't you do me a favor? I could use a little bit of help in this town over here. You think you can handle that for me? You could take care of it? But it's not mafia-esque as much as it is sort of just underground.
Nice bindle bag. Shame if something would happen to it.
That's right. That's right. Anyway, so and that as a faction, they don't usually get involved in political things, except to the extent that if there's a war, one of the things that happens in war is, man, ships get sunk, carts get wrecked.
Stuff goes missing.
Things fall off the back of a truck.
It happens, and we want to make ourselves of service to anybody to prevent that from happening.
And of course, they sell you all of the items that got broken.
Or they sell them to someone, or they show up at the hospital.
Right. So they'll steal a cart full of apples and then wheel it around, 1 mile down the road.
A cart full of apples.
And sell that cart full of apples to the commissions officer or whatever.
Or give the cart full of apples to a local orphanage.
Sure.
Or, whatever. And none of them are really, really wealthy. But what they really are, and this is the big deal, is they're way freer than anyone else who's operating under ordinance and governance. Okay, that's
sure. All. I like it.
So what if they had so they don't actually have a formal name for themselves? No. Maybe they have joke names like the Borrowers Guild.
Yeah, sure.
Or the Bank of the Commons or stuff. Just weird, funny stuff like that they laugh at when they say it.
Yeah, right. Or maybe there are echoes of their organization as other people are trying to guess how these things are going. And it was a this or this, and they borrow those names because they think they're funny.
Yeah,
something like that. That's good.
Yeah.
And also, just to say, like I said, they're not exclusive to halflings. They don't prefer selfish type rogues who are just aha, way to get rich. They get shunned. It's and there are no meetings. It's just you might be sitting there doing something and you notice that guy's got a ring on with a certain sigil. So then you say, hey, have you ever been to an imaginary place? And the person goes, oh, I've never been there, but I know where it is. It's just north-south of here. Whatever. Okay.
So Robert. Hey,
Big Rock Candy Mountain.
That's right.
I'm quite happy with what you described.
Candy Mountain.
What'd you say, Matt?
I'm quite happy with what you described. And I want you to know that in 5th edition, the official description of Thieves' Cant gives rogues the ability to do exactly what you mentioned. So that it says Thieves' Cant includes understanding a set of secret signs and symbols used to convey short, simple messages such as whether an area is dangerous or the territory of a thieves' guild, whether loot is nearby, whether the people in an area are easy marks or will provide a safe house for thieves on the run. Yep. Those same sorts of symbols are part of Thieves' Cant. But we should decide whether we want Thieves' Cant 5th edition D&D to also exist alongside Sir Robert's thing, or whether we want Sir Robert's thing to be the only, that's what Thieves' Cant is in this world.
I would say they use Thieves' Cant in a particular way. They've got a super
dialect of it?
It's like a dialect of Lisp, yeah.
Or
and who knows? Maybe in maybe in a particular part of the world, it's the most common flavor. Maybe for a part of history, they were the only game in town. I think,
What do you think, Sir Robert?
you can leave that up to the DM, right?
Presumably, there's something like. Well, first of all, my character's a rogue, so the way I had envisioned it is he belongs to two societies, kind of a rogues guild, and this. He actually would also belong to this one, and the two don't really know or interact with each other, except that they're mostly rogues. So I would say I would probably treat it as something like I would imagine it, and I have been imagining it as something like Cajun to French.
Sure.
Like kind of related concepts. The same people are using it, but they don't really share them because they don't want to see that random assassin knowing everything they knowing. And but I'm also happy if it is just the thieves can't. If it is, that means thieves in this world are friendlier. So
I think it should be its own distinct flavor of thieves' cant that they know amongst each other. Mm-hmm. Because this is a totally different entity than the Thieves Guild or the Rogues Guild.
It's just
it should be the Rogues Guild too. Anyway, but yeah,
cool. That is fine with me.
Yeah, I like the borrowers,
the rescuers down under.
Was that?
That could be the name of the
Robert,
Starfall.
did you give us a god?
I did not yet.
Do you want to?
I don't have one ready. I'll do it next time.
Next time, I'm hoping that we'll be playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay, then I'll do it sometime.
Yeah. Or over.
How many gods do we need?
All of them. We should probably have a handful more. Or the DMs can just invent some.
Sure.
D's M.
Anything else of this kind that we want to talk about and make official? Because what I would like to do next is see what is for Josh to give us like final instructions before the game actually starts.
Cool.
Next week.
Okay.
But first, does anybody have anything more of this kind? Like things that we should add to the world? Things that we still need?
I don't.
Let it be so. Josh, what must we do?
So before next week, you should all have your characters fully built and on D&D Beyond, and we should use D&D Beyond as the character sheet maintainer device, because that will allow me to just communicate with you guys easily and have access to a lot of things that will make life better for everybody. So other than that, if you want a character portrait that you're going to place on the stream, go ahead and get that thoughtfully. Make sure that it's something that you have the copyright permission to stream wherever, however. I know Dave can draw.
Dave's going to draw mine.
Yeah, guys, if you send me just like a physical description of your dude, I'll make a sketch.
Cool. I have Hannah working on one for me.
Nice.
Oh.
That is freaking awesome. So obviously be familiar with your spells and with your attacks. We will be patient and slow and merciful, but definitely do everything you can to just be familiar with what's on your sheet. The other thing is I would really like for at least once per battle, when you do something really great or when something really bad happens, for you to take a little bit of ownership and kind of describe how you attack, what kind of attack you're doing. Don't just tell me I attack with my sword. That's a +6. I do 5 damage. Like, tell me, I go into a high guard or whatever. Just pick
What am I, a poet?
Yes. So Dwight, you should have the easiest time of anybody in the universe because you're playing a martial arts master. So you just get to describe some Wang Chong Kung Fu.
Pretend that your character is Bruce Lee.
No,
Yeah.
Bruce Leroy.
but
He's a real character.
I'm not a poet.
I know. Just describe a martial art move and say that you do that. That's it.
I do that move from the way of the fist. Matt knows what I'm talking about.
No.
Where he kicks with his foot and he hits him hard.
Nope. Where he... Never mind.
I think we're putting too much pressure on it. The point is, I would love for us to, as it feels fun and natural, to chime in and describe with theater of the mind, seeing as how we're making this for each other and for everybody on Twitch.
Great.
Theater of the mind.
Another god.
Mime.
None of the viewer wants another
mime
god.
theater. We will just mime things.
That's right.
As long as you're miming martial arts.
I will mime it, and you will see exactly as much as what you're seeing right
He'll
now.
swing his arms like Ralph Macchio.
See it? Ka-cha! Ka-cha! Ka-cha!
Oh, maybe I know who that is. Interesting. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. Anybody have any questions for me before we get started?
You're going to get that piece of equipment that we talked about.
Yep.
And I'm happy for, just however it works on D&D Beyond is fine with me. I have a small technical question. If my weapon says on D&D Beyond, which I'm using to manage this, if my weapon says the hit/DC is like +3 or something, what does that mean?
So
in my former life, I was a spellcaster, so I don't really know.
Okay, yeah. If you've got the +3 to hit, that means that your proficiency bonus plus your relevant stat is giving you a total of +3. Okay. But that probably isn't right for you since you've got a really high dex.
I just used it as an example because my character is modest.
Right. So what you're going to do, Sir Robert, is Josh is going to say, or you're going to say, I attack, and you're going to roll a d20, and you're going to take the number that the d20 shows, and you're going to add that hit/DC plus number modifier to it, and that's what you're going to tell Josh. And Josh is going to compare it with the monster's armor class and tell you whether you hit or not.
Okay.
And if you do hit, you're going to roll damage, which is the amount of damage that's shown there, like 1d8 plus whatever, or 1d10 plus whatever.
Right.
And you roll that number of dice.
I get it
and
now.
You add the modifier. But only if you hit do you calculate damage.
Sure.
Yeah, so with your daggers and your short bow and your short sword, those all have the same hit DC. That's interesting that they've got a DC there, but unarmed strike, you've got a +1. Yeah. You're adding +7 to overcome their difficulty class.
Yeah.
You're rolling a d20 and adding 7, and that is how good you are. You're leaking a lot of
my character's information, Josh.
Oh, I'm sorry. I leaked a number. Sorry.
He's very modest. He's just a lovable, harmless guy.
He is a lovable, harmless guy. Sorry. I apologize. I've lifted your skirt, and I apologize. Shame.
I'll be all right.
Whoa.
G-rated.
What's happening?
I had 2 skirts.
Chikan. Sorry. Anybody else got any questions? Like, what does Dwight actually look like? Is he hideously disfigured?
Yes.
Is he so handsome that if people look upon his face, they will cast themselves into oblivion when they know that they will never have him?
Probably both.
I have a picture of Dwight here. Put it on my camera.
Nice.
What does it look like? Yep, that's me. The person on the left.
No, the dude holding the beers.
Those are root beers.
Oh, you know what?
Josh. Oh, go ahead, Matt.
What's that, Dave?
Do we want to have a god of the orcs? Because orcs are described as having a evil anger god, and my character is half-orc and so is sort of warring with the influence of that god. Should we just import Gromsh, or whatever his name is, directly from D&D?
Gromsh. Gromsh is his name, I think. Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to bring in Lolth, the spider goddess.
Oh, okay. So let's have Groomshin and Lolsh because they've got a lot of bad guys that are like cultists of them and stuff like that. So like, is that okay? What do you guys think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Perfect. Be written.
Let
it be done.
My iteration of Lolth is not purely evil though, because Lolth may be in there, but there's also the Spider Queen, and she is not the same as Lolth.
Sure.
So I want the Spider Queen to be a neutral goddess. Where Lolth may be evil, the Spider Queen is neutral and is only sometimes in her alliance.
Sounds good.
Grumsh. Is Grumsh evil?
Yeah.
Chaotic evil?
He's just
Groomsh.
misunderstood.
Groomsh had
Like Sir Robert's
Groomsh is the
character.
god of having anger issues.
Yeah, chaotic evil.
Groomsh is
Lolth
the
is
god that anger management classes are intended to prevent from controlling your life.
All right, how about this? Can we come up with 9 gods and have one that represents each of the bits of the spectrum of chaotic good to chaotic evil, lawful good?
Is a hot
lawful
dog
evil?
a sandwich?
Sure, somebody make
Wow.
up. Karen is chaotic neutral, I guess.
Okay.
Hot dogs are sandwiches.
Okay, the Spider Queen is going to be, I think, chaotic neutral.
Wait, I just said chaotic neutral.
Karen is chaotic neutral. Sorry, the Spider Queen is
Lawful neutral? Wait, no. Sorry.
I would like a 10th god.
What is it?
Chaotic.
nice.
It's not.
Who is it?
I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't matter to me. The description of chaotic
Jimmy.
neutral is chaotic neutral follows whims, an individualist, values his own liberty, doesn't really care about other whatever. But I want one that's just like it specifically
Erlich.
says chaotic neutral is not random, but I think a random god is a good one, like a really random.
Let's just make a god because this is a game with dice.
Yeah.
There's often some nice intertextual.
I like the name Earlix. Oh,
Like
do you want to roll for the name? Yes, let's roll for the name. Screw
Start.
Earlix. Let's roll for the name.
1d26.
26-sided die. Yes, exactly.
I've got spreadsheets in front of me, so I could make something on LibreOffice that pulls a character out of a random 1 through 26. But we should do it with dice. That's better. Okay, so how do we... well, just roll 2d100 and ignore everything that's... Oh, that sucks.
We could just call him Chance.
Call it the god of the dice.
The dice don't lice.
Call it lice.
Lice.
Lice, god of chance.
All right. Lice. God of chance.
Me and Dave were driving around. We're driving back from a Super Bowl party last night, and we came across a mattress just in the road with
The lice on it.
So who do we
Oh
want
no,
for our...
Matt disappeared in the middle of his story.
and,
Matt, you need to tell the story again. You just disappeared.
oh, I'm sorry.
We got the mattress.
Me and Dave were driving home from a Super Bowl party, and it's the worst, most dangerous time of the year to drive because everybody drinks at the Super Bowl and then they get in their cars and try to drive home. So we're driving along the road, and we come upon a mattress in the road with a whole bunch of like furniture trash, like broken up desks and stuff. Just like somebody had like stopped their pickup truck in the road and just shoved all this stuff off the back in the middle of the road. And I slowed down to go around it, and the person behind me got really Rhode Island and about it, and was like all riding on my bumper and like swerved around me really fast. But what I wanted to say was, if you were to lay on that mattress, it would be a roll of the dice whether you got lice.
That was
Wonderful.
true.
Nice.
Although I think in Rhode Island, probably the lice are all dead.
Not in that mattress. It's mattress, man.
It was.
As my
Did
kids
not
have learned to
stop
say,
picking
they
it
would
up.
say, Matt's having personal problems.
No, that mattress is having personal problems.
That mattress is having Matt's personal problems.
Huh.
Cool.
Hey, Josh.
Yeah.
We need to get my poison sorted out at some point.
Oh, yeah. We do.
Hey, we're
Okay,
up to 5 viewers.
Nice.
What? No.
Where did they all come from?
Paid
I
out.
don't know, but one of them's me.
Nice. What aligns
Oh,
you?
no.
So Grumsh is chaotic evil. So put Grumsh in the chaotic evil slot.
Well, Grumsh has to have a son named Chad
Or Chab.
or Chab.
What for?
Chab. There you go. We'll compromise and call it Chab. Chab, son of Grumsh.
Is Chab going to make very good friends with Stacy? Wait, I mean
Stop.
Becky.
I don't know.
I forget. I can't keep track of what the kids these days are talking about.
All right. David
That's how I
Farrell
feel
is taking
about this conversation.
David Farrell is
Ask your
taking
kids,
great
old
liberties with the spelling of the word pan in the Google Doc.
Yep.
Oh man.
Ham.
Should I add some? Do you want me to add some apostrophes in there?
I want you to add some silent characters. I want a 3 in
There
there
we
that
go.
I don't pronounce.
Just a few more. One. That's enough.
Oh no. Okay, so what is there,
Well,
Matt?
yeah.
Is there a god of
There we go.
food? I can't say that because little kids might watch. Food, Matt. What about food?
I don't care. Yeah, I mean, we should probably have a harvest god who, like,
Series.
Ceres.
I mean, the same style.
yeah. We can
I
also
like Ceres for
directly
the harvest
make
god.
series.
Cereal.
I
Yeah, Series,
cereal is
cereal.
from series. That's
That
the point.
we'll be able to remember, and we all love cereal, so Ceres it is.
Charm.
Series is the actual, like,
Yeah.
Roman god, right? Greek, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Art, imitates life, imitates art.
Great, just making sure. I didn't want you to think I had made that up.
No,
Robert.
you made it up.
You have full creative license and copyright.
We need a neutral evil god.
Sure.
We need a legal god, a god of lawyers.
Yes, the lawful neutral god.
Okay, we need a new. So right now, I've got
I think
Paylor.
lawyers is lawful evil.
Yeah, lawful neutral at best. So Paylor. I've got Paylor down as a de facto lawful good. Do we want to pick a better lawful good god?
Who is Paylor, the spider one?
No,
I
the
think he's
Spider
a Brazilian
Queen.
soccer player.
I think that's Pele.
Ah. Spider Queen is a lawful good god.
No,
No, Paylor apparently is the god of the sun, light, strength, and healing.
yeah.
Known as the Shining One and the Sunfather. I just looked on DuckDuckGo.
Yeah. So Paylor is a traditional lawful good god. This would be the god of the paladins. Anybody else have a bid for
No, that's
the
fine.
lawful good god?
Do it.
That's fine.
Sweet
My character's dad
tacos.
follows this god, probably.
Is a taco a sandwich?
Well, the real question is, could Jesus ever stuff a taco so full that he couldn't bite into it?
When Hannah was 4, no, maybe 5 or 6, I asked, could God create a rock so heavy he couldn't lift it? And she said, yeah, but he could lift it too.
I feel like your children are already trained to live in the Sanderson world of usury and that form of magic. Like they've got the mental headspace to be in that world.
Some of them are hardcore.
Somehow. I'm ready
Augury,
for us to talk
not
about
usury.
what neutral evil means and which god would be that.
Sympathy, that's it.
Neutral evil.
I am bringing up an alignment chart to help me understand this better. Hold on. This says, believes strongly in lawful concepts such as honor, order, rules, tradition, but often follows a personal code because they're in preference to something set by a benevolent authority. Examples of lawful neutral include a soldier who always follows orders, a judge or an enforcer who adheres mercilessly to the letter of the law, and a discipled monk. So basically somebody who's just a straight-up legalist about whatever their system is.
Yeah, let's put I don't know.
I thought we were doing neutral evil.
Yeah, I was trying to do neutral evil because lawful
What about-
neutral to me. But
For neutral evil, how do you guys feel about Mask, god of shadows and thieves?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Let's put it in. Yes,
Constant scheming, cool head, and often biting comment.
makes those videos on the internet, right?
So the...
Internet,
Jim Carrey.
Sure.
the guy.
Somebody stop.
Me.
Okay, does that work? The chaotic good god is probably going to be the one that most of the adherents to the clan I mentioned, or not the clan, the little association I mentioned belong to. They just are changing things and dislike governance and do whatever they want, personal freedom. So chaotic good, we don't have one, right?
We do have a chaotic good.
Who is it?
But we can make
Pan.
another
Later god, but
Pan is the satyr god.
Han? Like Han Solo?
Pawn.
Is he actually a satyr?
it doesn't have to be.
No, but he was the god of the satyrs while they were around.
Yeah.
Great.
The satyrs
I think
were
you could-
I
chaotic
think you could
good,
bridge
and they
both
were
of them though. Like,
Panic?
Oh,
he's yeah.
yeah, that's actually really good because the satyrs are mythological at best. They're known to the elves, but not to the others. And so if this people found out about them, they'd be like, whoa, that's awesome. About the satyr people, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's just a cool connection point. Cool, okay, that's good. So who are we missing?
Yeah.
Do we want to come up with one?
Lawful neutral, lawyer god,
Awful.
accountant
So-
god, the
Yeah.
god of numbers.
That's
Rigid
right. He should be a
mathematical
math god.
consistency,
Milton.
the god of the determinists.
I could set the building on fire.
His name is Determinor.
That's wonderful, Matt.
Legal, numbers, law, numbers, and determinism are his three main domains. He is the philosopher's god, therefore he should be something like Plato or Aristotle or...
Thomas Aquinas.
He's the opposite of the lice. These dice don't lice.
These dice are always lice. These dice are made from lice.
He puts the dice on ice.
Okay, so this guy is
God
LL,
plays dice.
where lice is CC. You know what? In that case, Quirin, I really think, should be neutral.
Karen is definitely chaotic
Neutral. All right.
in that it has no plan at all. it wants nothing except to just mix things up.
Okay. So law, numbers, and determinism. Cantus?
That sounds great.
Okay.
Put it down.
All right. So we have Loth, goddess of lawful evil. The Mask, neutral evil. Grumsh, chaotic.
Matt, you're so close to the screen.
Wait. Lawful neutral needs to be... We need somebody... Is that Cantus?
Your eyes are beautiful.
That's fine. We'll ditch him as the god of true, pure law and give him a little bit of soul. There you go. All right, so there's Cantus for lawful neutral, the Spider Queen for true neutral, Quirin, the Swollen One for chaotic neutral, Palor for lawful good, Oberon for neutral good, and Pan, chaotic good. We've got ourselves a primary pantheon. So outside of them...
Chab.
Say what?
You forgot Chab.
No, well, I didn't forget him. I just didn't mention him. Chab, the son of Grumsh.
Son Chab.
I think Chab...
Do they make Yoba?
Chab is such a funny word.
Chab and Lice should be on speaking terms. Like Chab is the only god who is wild enough and angry at his father enough to hang with Lice.
I don't know. You know what? Chab might be Thak's bro.
Maybe that's true. Maybe Chab. You know what? Chab should be the god of the.
Groups is always trying to get stuff done, have wars with people, and Chab just wants to crack a couple of cold ones. Shit.
What's the name of the Vikings that would sing the war chants, but would also do magic?
Scald.
Scald. That's it.
Well,
Chab is the god of the Scalds.
They didn't really have war magic.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. Chab is the god of the Scalds.
Oh no! I wanted Chab to be the god of beer pong.
He is. That's the thing. The Scalds, they don't train for war. So when they're not singing for war, they're partying. All the other warriors envy them because they don't have to train all day like the others do.
But Chab is not really evil.
Patron of Scalds and beer pong.
Chab.
Hey,
okay. Chab is the because evil is not just going out and doing bad things. Chab is the side of evil that's not doing good things, sins of omission.
He's the lazy fool.
Chab is Grumsh's lazy son. Grumsh is why won't you smite them? And Chab is dude, chill. I'm gonna smite you tomorrow. I've got plans, man. I'm going to the beach today.
Han definitely has an ongoing beer pong feud with Chab.
Okay, in that case, Grumsh needs two sons because there needs to be another god who is the god of the
tries
Scald,
too hard to do evil.
Who tries
he's
too
not
hard
very
evil,
good at
and
it.
who's getting everybody whipped up into a frenzy to fight the spirit of Chab, which causes the orcs to become lazy.
Carlton.
Carlton and Chab. Good lord, this is just a dumpster fire.
Degenerating real fast.
It can't be Carlton, Sir Robert. It's a bridge too far.
Wait.
Too far.
Carlton.
Carltum. Carlton.
Chab.
I'm too young for this.
Okay, Carlton is patron of overtrainers and
You're gonna
Skull.
kill Matt. You're gonna kill Matt.
Okay.
Oh God, Carlton.
Carlton, patron of overtrainers and scalds, who must fight the spirit of Chab that causes indolence in orcs. Oh my word. All right, so Chab is also the patron deity of orc drinking, right? Patron of
Chab, definitely.
Patron of strong drink.
Its sigil is an inscription of a horn.
And sleep. Yes, but a horn with something spilling out of it. Whereas Carlton's sigil is of a horn and a drum, right?
And Grumsh's sigil is like a naked sword, and Carlton's sigil is like 50 naked swords.
No, it needs to be a sword over a drum, right? Because that, in my world, one of the things that the orcs are known for is their drumming. Like, they don't have a lot of string instruments or wind instruments or things like that, but they do have percussion, and they're good at it.
Sure. Percussion.
Okay. Carlton.
So, real quickly, I was wanting to roll for my character's hit points. I like the randomness, but I also want to do it on camera.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
What's your die type, my dude?
I'm sorry. What's my what now?
What's your hit die type for your class? Is it a D6 or a D8?
8.
Nice.
I'm looking at D&D Beyond. What'd you say, Matt?
Where on D&D Beyond can I see my hit dice?
I had to go to edit my character and then go to the Manage Hit Points button under number 2, Class. There's a Manage Hit Point at the top.
So your other option is that if you click the button Short Rest, it'll pop up and it'll say Rogue, hit die, 1d8 plus 2. Right?
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Sir Robert. You're the skirt thing again. But, yeah, so just click the Short Rest button and you'll see it right there.
I see that. So I'm level 3 because we rolled that last time. So what exactly am I supposed to do here? Help me to... I don't know how
Sure.
So just is that we could roll with advantage, and he would roll the other dice, right?
That's right. So let's hit edit on Harcourt Felton Mud, and let's look at...
Now you told everyone his name.
Oh, shoot. Crud. Hey, well, sorry, one person who's listening. Spoiler alerts. Retroactive. Sorry.
Spoiler delert.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess
I don't see where you put your hit points on.
Yeah, in the edit.
Here we go.
When you're
Hit
editing
point
the character.
at first level. Okay.
That's usually a default.
Manage
It's like
hit
the
points.
max, usually. The first level, you get the max.
It tells me the first level is use 8 plus my con bonus.
Yeah. And then you roll a 1d8 for each level after that.
Okay, that sounds sort of
And then
right.
Josh is going to also roll, right? And you get advantage on that.
Okay. So when it says hit point bonuses, blah 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 from con, is that what I'm adding for my first level?
So let's see here. It looks like you know what? This is slightly unintelligible. We may have to go back and look at this later. Character level 3.
So you would roll 2d8. One for level 2 and one for level 3.
Yeah.
And you would add your Constitution bonus to that, and that's how many.
Oh, okay. So here we go.
Oh, you get to add that to every level?
Okay, so
it's each time you level, Dwight. When your character levels, if you don't just take the common roll, you get to roll and add your con bonus because you're super beefy or Super soupy.
My hit points are wrong then. I need to...
So, Sir Robert, you and I are going to roll right here. I've actually got your manage hit points window open right here. So as soon as we're done with this, I'll hit applying. It'll update for you, but I'll do it with you right now.
Okay.
So 2 times we're going to roll together. Is that okay?
Good. Will you tell me then I'm rolling... The player's handbook says I roll...
A D8.
1d8 per level.
Yes, so we're going to roll 2 more times.
I got you.
Because the first time is a fixed max hit point, and the next 2 times we roll together. You ready?
I am ready.
You tell me when.
Now. I got a 3. Can you see that?
I got an 8, so that means that you are now up to 16.
Woohoo!
Let's do that one more time.
Okay. And I think that was not very visible on the screen, so give me 1 sec. Try that. Ready?
Ready.
All right. I got a 1.
I also got a 1, but 1 is too low, so we're going to re-roll.
Okay. 7.
7 sounds good to me.
So, great. That's very hearty.
Yep. So there you go. So you now have max hit points of 29 because you have 23 rolled HP.
Okay. You're leaking a lot of information, but I'm okay.
And you've got plus 6 from your constitution, so 29 plus 6, or 23 plus 6 is 29.
Great.
So you're good to go. If anybody else wants their hit points to be a secret, we can do that off camera, off stream.
Nope, I'm ready.
You're ready right now. Okay, so
for my level 2 hit point bonus.
So Matt, do you already have your D&D Beyond hit point management window up in front of you, and you feel like you know what's going on?
Why don't you do it? Because I'm not sure that I do.
Okay.
If you feel like you do,
I do.
bring it up.
I am doing that right now. Okay, here we go. Thack the Thunderer.
Ready? I'm going to roll.
Give me just 1 sec.
All right.
Okay. Looks like you've got a fixed hit point right now.
Yeah. We're going to want to change that.
We do need to change that.
Back in 1 sec.
Okay.
I believe it when I see it.
Homebrew, advancement type XP, hit point type, manual, confirm. Now, we'll go back over to abilities. Oops, sorry, class, and hit manage XP, and now we can actually control it. So, you've got a D8, so we're going to start with 8, and then we're going to roll together.
I'm ready.
You ready? Okay, go for it.
6.
6 for me.
Sounds good. That gets you up to a 14.
Hey, put it in.
And then 14, and then plus 6 from Constitution gives you a total of 20. I only rolled a 3. Dwight, you ready for yours?
Sure.
Okay.
I rolled an 8.
Wow, that sounds great. Give me just 1 sec. Mela Oakenheel. Getting little spoilers left, right, and center here. Manage HP. Okay, so
I had already rolled
8, and then 8. So that brings us up to 16. So now you and I roll together for the next one. You ready?
Yeah. Rolled a 6.
I rolled a 7.
Woohoo!
All right, so that's 3 levels worth of hit points we've done so far.
Yeah.
Pretty darn close to max.
Yeah. Ready?
1, 2, 3, roll.
4.
4.
Dang it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
4 plus 4.
What? Average? Average! All right, so that's 4 levels right there.
I can't read it. 4 again.
I got a 7.
Nice.
So that's 5 levels. We need one more.
Last one. Oh, wait a second. My constitution. No, I didn't change my constitution. Never mind. At 6, I think I leveled up that stuff, but I didn't change my constitution.
Don't worry about it. That'll auto add.
Okay.
What number did you get for this last one?
I can't read it. It's so dark.
What?
It's an 8.
It's an 8. Oh, my word.
I used a red die, red writing on a black die, so it's perfect for...
Yeah, perfect for nighttime. Okay, so not only are you twice the level of the next highest person, you have max hit points. Okay.
No, I don't have max hit points.
Dwight, you have so close to max hit points, it's disgusting.
It's not true.
I feel nauseous.
I got what's going on.
All right. So what else do we have left to do?
Hey, Josh,
What
can I
else?
ask you for something?
Yes,
Do I
you
need
can.
to roll?
Oh,
Dave.
yes.
Dave needs to roll.
Dave needs to roll.
What do I do?
Well, Dave, speaking up is step 1. Give me just a sec. Let me get to your character. Now, did we ever come up with a name for your character?
Not yet.
Does
We
he
could work on that?
not have one?
Lizard people do your reading.
He's got a name. I'll come up with it for next time.
Okay.
I'm back.
All
Yay.
right. So you also have your hit points set to fixed, and we're going to change that to manual.
Who, me?
And then we're going to go over to class, manage HP, and you tell me what your first roll is.
Okay, I'm rolling. I got a 4.
4 it is. Well, hang on. Yeah, it's a 6.
Nice.
All right.
Do I roll again?
Now, I
No, you're
think
level
you are
2.
only
You're
level 2.
like me.
So we're done. You have got 16 hit points, my man.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, the constitution bonus retroactively applies, doesn't it? So when you up your constitution, you get +1 for all the
Yeah.
levels. Yeah.
Which is why con drain is so terrible, because every time your con score gets knocked down to where your modifier would go down, you lose your levels in hit
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Hey, Josh.
Do you want
Yo.
to hold on?
Yeah, go ahead, Dave.
What about my poison? We never did that.
We
need to
did
do
not
that.
do that.
We're gonna
I'll
do
need
that.
to come up with a full magic item
Okay.
build for you, and I will give that to you. I'll give you a poisoner's kit, and I'll put all the rules for it on the kit.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm going to have to do the same for Sir Robert. So I've got homework that I need to do for you guys.
Sweet.
Yep. Okay.
Can we,
It's pretty late.
oh, it's pretty late.
It is getting late.
Okay. I want to say 3 things to Josh, but it doesn't need to be on the stream.
Okay.
Alrighty. I'm gonna stop the stream and close it out.
Adios.
So
Bye, everybody. Thank you for watching.
we didn't do our intro. What was the outro going to be?
Yeah, we don't have an intro or an outro. I guess we're just.
This is not
We'll get
okay.
there.
All right,
This time.
we'll get there.
I'll write something and then make Josh recite it.
Make
Go,
sure
go,
it's
go.
not as erotic as that first one.
It's gonna be bone dry.
Remember, little
didn't say
kids, 12-year-olds, dude,
I'm gonna
12-year-olds.
stop streaming now.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Sir Robert.
Thank you.